Welcome to Insight. I thank you for allowing us to come into your homes today. I would like for you to call a friend, get a pen, because the information that we're coming through today is going to be very, very important. Like Dr. Z. York, Part 2, we did the show previous before, and today we have a new set of guests on, and I would like to briefly introduce them to you. To my immediate right is Attorney Adrian Patrick. He is the attorney in the case for Dr. Malachi York. And to my left is Dr. Al Woolall, who is the agent for the property owner. And also on stage with me is Frederick Johnson and Damon Pryor. Welcome to Insight. Thank you all for coming into Insight.
Thank you for inviting me.
First of all, I would like for our listeners to really understand this, is that this is a very serious situation here. At least I feel that it's very, very serious, is because a man's life, and not only his life, but the future of what he's about, is really in jeopardy here. And he has been accused of several indictments. In my own words, I feel that he has been treated shoddy, and he has not been given his true due in court. But needless to say, that is my own particular feeling, and we will come down to the very bones of the case as soon as I introduce Attorney Adrian Patrick, and he will first of all explain the situation to us. Adrian Patrick, again, welcome to Insight.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Please explain to us some of the particulars about this federal case.
All right. First of all, in the federal case, there were several counts within the indictment. There's one federal indictment and there's a state indictment. So within the indictment, there's several counts. Initially, there was a federal indictment that involved 4 counts of transporting minors in interstate commerce for purposes of sexual relations. So that the audience and everyone will understand what that means is that basically the allegation is that there was a move from New York down to Georgia, and the primary purpose of that move, and or the sole purpose of that move, was for Dr. York to molest children. Now, later, after the 4-count indictment, there was a superseding indictment, or another indictment, that added more counts to the indictment. Now, there ended up being a total of 11 counts, and I'm looking at that. They ended up being a total of 11 counts, and they involved, primarily what was the distinction is that it involved a federal RICO conspiracy count. Now, the first 3 counts of the indictment involved conspiracy or RICO charges. Now, RICO charges generally were created for the government to attack the mafia.
Right. In fact, I was just about to ask you that.
Right.
Most people think that this is just a racketeering charge.
Right. Well, this case involved substantially different facts than what historically would be found in a mafia-type organization. The reason that, historical reason why the RICO charges were created, because it made the prosecution easier to convict a mafia boss or mafia don or whatever.
Right.
Now, what has happened in several cases, the RICO laws have been misapplied. for example, in the recent case in the federal courts of Atlanta involving the pimps and the child prostitution, right? The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals is taking a very close look at that because they feel that the RICO charges in that case they were misapplied. And similarly in this case, that would be one of the issues that we will cover on appeal. Nevertheless, outside of the RICO charges, there were several counts, 4 counts of transporting children in interstate commerce for purposes of having sex. And also there were 3 money structuring charges. And the money structuring basically means that what the allegation was is that if you deposit over $10,000 in cash in a financial institution, that financial institution has to report that to the IRS. And the allegation was that Dr. York intentionally did not deposit $10,000 into a financial institution, and thus he was evading IRS reporting requirements. Now, the jury found Dr. York not guilty of one of the counts of transporting children in interstate commerce, and that was as far as going from Georgia to Florida or Disney World. In the other counts, they found Dr. York guilty on those counts.
You said that the jury did not find him guilty on one of the charges going from Georgia to Florida.
Right.
Explain that.
All right. Now, outside of the travel from New York to Georgia, the federal government also alleged that there was trips from Georgia to Disney World in Florida, and that was also for the purposes of having sex with children.
Okay.
Right. And the jury found him not guilty on that allegation.
Okay.
Which to me would indicate an inconsistent verdict because the same witnesses that testified that there was sex from New York to Georgia are the same witnesses that testified that there was sex from Georgia to Disney World.
Okay.
Right. Right. And basically, that's the sum total of the charges. We have a very strong appeal in this case, and I could talk to you briefly, if you like, about the post-trial proceedings.
Okay. Before you go into that, I want to switch over to Dr. Al Willard. You are the agent for the property owner?
Yes, down at 44 Shadydale Road.
Explain that to our audience, what the property owner and your position.
My involvement? Okay, well, the property known as 404 Shadydale Road is actually the land of the Yamassee Native American Moors of the Creek Nation. It encompasses about approximately 476 acres that's located in Putnam County, Georgia. And ironically enough, that's where a large majority of these alleged charges were said to have taken place.
Okay.
And there's been a misconception, which has been one of our problems, which will also be addressed in regards to the appeal, that the warrant that they came for the search and seizure on that property was supposed to have the name of the property owners on that land, on that